Okay, stop. Guys, I'm scared. Alright. Please welcome our next presenter.
Don't worry,
Class
take
of
your time.
2021. Toby Grande. Oh. Class 2021. Just whisper to it all. I'm sorry, I'm getting scared. Okay. Please welcome our next presenter from the class of 2021, Toby Grande.
Okay, applause, applause, applause. And then Toby talks, blah, 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 blah. And then, okay, then second documentary, which is Miranda.
Okay. Thank you, Julie Garcia.
Sorry.
Wait. Oh, okay. So thank you, Toby Grande. Please can you keep saying it? There's more. What? Oh. I'll say it. Thank you, Toby Grande. Please give a big hand to our last documentary, Suicide Prevention, by Julie Garcia. Get it
Video,
right.
3, 2, 1.
Suicide is currently the second leading cause of death for children and young people between the ages of 10 and 24. Each day in our nation, there are an average of over 5,400 suicide attempts by young people grades 7 to 12.
What suicide is to me is when a person is in a state where they can't just handle all the pressure they've been going through in their lives, and then they believe that to get out of it, suicide is the answer to it, but it's not actually.
Usually when I think about it in my ways or how I've experienced it, I feel like suicide is just I know that the definition is one killing themselves intentionally, and to me I also believe that, but I also feel that there's also factors that contribute to it.
Some factors that can contribute to suicide risk include previous suicide attempts, sexual orientation, depression, bullying, and cyberbullying.
We have a support suicide prevention team that has come to Katella, and they have given a talk on what the signs are, where to go, what to do. And again, our school, our APs have informed us of who are in charge of who's that crisis team that we can go to.
I think a lot of people get the idea that I am a county social worker that works for the county, and then I go to people's home and investigate whether there's child abuse. That is what some social workers do. That is not my role though within here at Katella. As a licensed clinical social worker, I am able to do therapy, I'm able to do risk assessments, threat assessment, and that basically means ensure the safety of a student here on campus, make sure that they don't want to harm themselves, harm someone else. And like I say, I always tell the kids, I want to listen to your story, I want to know you, I want to know your story. So in terms of warning signs, there's a lot sometimes that a kid will bring forth. They'll put it in writing, they'll put it in social media, they'll tell friends.
Experts say 4 out of 5 teens give clear warning signs that they are considering suicide. Warning signs include noticeable changes in eating and sleeping, withdrawal from family and friends, unexplained severe rebellious behavior, and talking or writing about suicide.
But there are those that live with this kind of silently, and they go without giving any type of warning sign, so it could go either way.
We always talking to our teachers or to our colleagues if we see students that are, withdrawn, right? Or perhaps we see a big shift in their behavior, a big shift in their personality. And if you see those warning signs, then you talk to somebody.
Right now, Adela is saying, if you're facing a situation, have somebody know about it, but who knows if they actually do understand you.
Well, one time I ended up getting called out of class because the counselor wanted to talk to me because my parents thought I had something wrong, and they were right. But I didn't really have trust in telling the counselor something like that because it was just a one-time thing. But most of the time I just didn't really feel open because I wasn't really close on one-on-one with them. And I know that people there's programs and stuff that you can get help, but sometimes I feel like it's hard.
The resources we have in place, of course, is a full-time LCSW. We have full-time school counselors that can also work with students in regards to, conducting general just kind of risk assessments, talking to them, seeing where their needs are.
Teachers should help students dealing with suicide by always referring them to the professional, like our social worker, person in charge of crisis, counselor.
Aside from in-school resources like places to go to and people to talk to, Ms. Cortez listed resources outside of Katella that students can go to.
Outside of school, there's so many clinics outside of school to support students for one-on-one therapy. There's groups outside of school as well. There are also programs that we can link them up to that are free of cost for them. So there's a ton of support. There's therapists that go to your home and meet with you at home if you feel uncomfortable going to the agency, So there's a ton of programs. It's just about figuring out the needs of the student and then the best fit for them.
As a staff, suicide is the last thing we'd ever want to deal with, we'd ever want to experience as educators, right? So we do our best to prevent that. We now have a full-time licensed clinician social worker, which is Ms. Cortez, and she's here full-time now and she's dedicated to our students. Not every school in the district has a full-time LCSW.
It's all about hearing their story and figuring out where they're at and figuring out, okay, what supports do they need? So everything is bringing up a game plan for them.
The students I interviewed gave examples of resources they would like Katella to provide. Resources include programs and someone to talk to, not just a teacher administrator, but a trained professional. Today, Katella students have access to their licensed clinical social worker, Lorena Cortez.
I'm here with the counselors. I work really closely with the counselors, with the family liaison that we have here so that we could work with the family, and then our school psychologist, obviously, and with our administration team. So you can find me in the counseling center, and I have an open door policy.
Talk to someone about it, someone they trust, and know that whatever decision they make, to direct them to the right person, it's because they care about them.
Don't let others pull you down and say things that can literally affect you in the future, because that's not who you are. And don't think low of yourself.
Life is worth living, believe me. Things will get better, and you can make it better. A lot of it. Don't let life's circumstances dictate your life, but rather dictate life's circumstances.
Honestly, feel that if you're able to have enough self-confidence and trust yourself and be happy with who you are, or just be okay in the end, then I do feel that you're able to proceed, be successful, and
Stop trying to find yourself and start creating yourself, and so that's kind of my starting point with them. It's we're no longer going to be looking for who you are, because that's going to, when are you going to find out who you are? But let's start creating the person that you want to be. So your story starts, and let's start creating it.
Please welcome our last presenter from the class of 2021, Iana Rodriguez.
Okay, so this one's going to be tricky. Iana, she's going to come out, talk. And, but as soon as she comes out, I'm just going to do her first picture. So what do you think? Should we have a signal? Should I just hit the picture? What do you think? It doesn't have to. Okay, yeah, actually, let's just keep the white shot. Let's keep the white shot. I can see it. Yeah. It's a bit blurry for me, but I think they can see it, right? I mean, yeah. What about at a different angle, oh no, you can't see it from. Okay, yeah. So anytime there's a new picture, I guess, you can just click to the white shot, right? Okay, cool. So then here's the next one. Yes. Yeah, so let's just say I think she's on this one. Okay. Yeah, I think the other one's because it's a better picture, it's bigger, more people. Okay. I think it's fine. You know what? I would say this. Like, let's just say, it's fine as it is. And if you get like so comfortable by fourth period that you're like, yeah, I can switch off to whatever. You know, cool, do it. If not, no big deal. Sure. And you know what? I also told her to just tell me next slide. That way we both know. Okay. All right. So I'll just so Iyanna Rodriguez, right? And as soon as she comes out, I'm just gonna go click. Right. And then she talks, blah 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 blah, and then she says next slide. Blah 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 blah. And then next slide. Mom, blah, 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 blah. And then final slide. Okay. How are we doing? I mean, it's going to go obviously so much slower. Because those don't really need to match up, right? Like, yeah, we don't need to sync them, you know. Is that good? Okay, cool. And then so we're heading towards the end here. So let's just say Iyanna is about to end. She makes her closing remarks. Thank you very much. And then 5C's video, 3, 2, 1.
Also critical thinking, because it helped me to stop just talking about my problem but also come up with a solution.
Critical thinking, because this is a really hard problem to to fix in general, because these are people that they just want to live, that's all.
Was communication, because when conducting my interviews, I was able to hear the opinions and thoughts of the people I was interviewing, and this helped me come up with adequate information to add to my presentation.
Communication was one of the 5 C's that was most important to me, because it gave me the advice from my peers that I needed to make my presentation better, and it gave me the feedback that I needed to know if my presentation was good or not, and if there was things I needed to fix. Like if you want to have an issue like that you want to fix but you don't really know how, you can have ideas given to you or from your friends or like any peer, like even a teacher can help you, and it just brings like that nice communication, because like sometimes like teachers can give you like, oh, maybe you can improve this and you can do this, or like maybe they just give you the idea and something just comes to you and you're just like, oh wow, yeah, like that sounds good, maybe I can make it better.
For me, it was very important to not just only speak for myself, but also to listen to their opinions and what they could say about my topic, for me to improve it, for me to get to know like what they want to hear as well.
Looking at new ways really helped me on my research, and one of my friends was like, what if I don't want to hurt my parents, or anyway, like is there any way possible I can like help myself without hurting them, because I really love them, this and that. So it helped me work on it. I think creativity was the most impactful for me because it allowed me to create my own solution. So obviously it has to be original. It can't be something that was already made up. And documentary-wise, I feel like it allowed us to elaborate more. It allowed me to add my own perspective and how I wanted others to perceive this particular topic. And I feel like because of that, the creativity allowed my project to be spot on.
Definitely character for me because this is about the individuals that suffer from major depressive disorder, and I want people to know that everyone should be valued whether they have mental illness or not.
I believe it was character. We all were very passionate about the work we want to do, and it involved a lot of different people, and it took a lot for them to tell us what they did.
Some of our presentations today will have booths during Love Week if you're interested in learning more about their ideas, want to help them sign petitions, or join their cause or club. In addition, all of the presentations today will be available on YouTube at the end of our event. Finally, we would like to say thank you to the following people and groups. Thank you to the Catella High School English Department, Jordan Garcia, Christina McGuire, and Cheryl Campos for kickstarting these TED Talks. Thank you to Mr. Newmanville, Mr. Delgado, Ms. Montoy, Joseph Wong, and our KHS film crew for our live stream and support. Thank you to our audience, district friends, and parents for their support. Thank you to Miranda for being my co-host this morning. Thank you, Daniel, for being my host today. And finally, thank you to all of our presenters for their courage, ideas, and inspiration. Have a great day and exit through the front doors or on the either side of the theater.